Hello, BTS lovers. When an iconic K-pop idol like Kim Taehyung, better known as V of BTS, enters the military, fans around the world await the latest news with hearts full of hope and concern. However, what happens when a global celebrity faces physical and mental challenges that surpass anything she has experienced before? Today, a small but meaningful incident takes place at the Military Police Division 2 military training camp, where Taehyung is currently serving his mandatory military service. The day began as usual, the biting cold of a military morning, the sound of a loud whistle that woke up the soldiers, and the already laid out schedule of intensive physical exercises. Taehyung, who has been known for his dedication and discipline, goes through all of this without complaint. Since the first day of joining Division 2, he has shown an unyielding spirit that inspires his colleagues. However, who would have thought that his always excellent body on stage turned out to face unexpected challenges on the training field? The exercises of the day were designed to test the strength and endurance of soldiers. One of the practice segments is the heavy terrain exam, which involves running long distances in full gear, including a rifle and a heavy backpack. Taehyung, although his face showed strong determination, began to show unusual signs of fatigue after a few rounds. His fellow soldiers wondered, but he continued the exercise without complaining. However, as the next session began push-ups and weightlifting, Taehyung suddenly stopped his movements for a moment, touching part of his back with an expression of discomfort. Instructors and medical teams immediately approached. They asked Taehyung to take a short break at the side of the practice field. Fans may be wondering, is this the beginning of a serious problem? Or is it just the usual fatigue from tight schedules and military pressure? Upon further examination, it was found that Taehyung's back muscles were under slight strain, possibly as a result of heavy loads and incorrect posture during previous workouts. The medical team recommended that he reduce the intensity of physical activity for a while. However, what happens next really reflects Taehyung's true personality. Instead of taking a full break as suggested, Taehyung resolutely asked to continue training anyway. "I'm not here to be treated differently," he told his commander, in a firm but humble tone. Her words bear witness to her dedication and sense of responsibility. Even though her body is demanding more attention, other fellow soldiers who witnessed the moment claimed to be impressed. One of them even said, "We know he's a big star out here, but he's really like one of us. Nothing special. He worked really hard." This statement is proof that Taehyung not only survived, but also set an example to those around him. After returning to the lineup, although with slight modifications in his movements, Taehyung still completed the training session until the end of the day. His discipline was evident, even as his body screamed to stop. This incident immediately became a conversation among the soldiers of the 2nd Division. Not only that, this news began to spread among fans after one of the anonymous soldiers shared the story on an online forum. Response from fans? Of course, diverse. Some were anxious and wished Taehyung would get more treatment soon, while others were proud of his fighting spirit. Taehyung has always been a person who gives his all, both on stage and in real life. But we hope he doesn't push himself too much, an army official wrote on social media. However, this story is not over. After the day's training session was over, Taehyung reportedly spoke to a colleague in the barracks. "I want to make sure that I can get this done without making anyone feel like I'm getting special treatment," she said in a calm voice. His words reflected another side of him, rarely seen on the glittering stages of the entertainment world. A young man who wanted to be appreciated not for his status, but for his hard work. This event also raises a question in the minds of many people. How far can an idol whose life is accustomed to glamour be able to adjust to the rigors of the military world? Taehyung, as seen from this incident, seems to have managed to answer the question with his actions, not just words. Although his body experienced a slight constraint, his spirit remained unshakable. That night, Taehyung is seen writing something in his little notebook, a habit he says he brought from his life at BTS. Perhaps he was writing about this tiring day, or perhaps he was reflecting on how much military life had taught him new things. To be sure, that day became another proof that Kim Taehyung is not only a K-pop star, but also an individual who dares to face any challenge with his head held high. Fans around the world can only hope that he stays healthy and strong, both on the training field and in the course of his career after this. However, will this be the beginning of a major change in Taehyung's life? Or just one small chapter in his long story as an artist and soldier? One thing is for sure, this story gives us all a reason to reflect on what dedication and hard work really mean, even in the midst of tremendous pressure. As the night rolled on, the 2nd Division military camp seemed quiet. The lights in the barracks dim, and the soldiers, including Taehyung, prepare to sleep after a long day. However, thoughts of the strenuous exercise and the minor incidents she had experienced still hung in the air. For some people, muscle strain may not be a big deal, but in the military, even a minor injury can be a significant barrier to performance in the following days. Taehyung seemed to ponder while sitting on his bed. His notebook, which had become a faithful companion in between military activities, opened in his lap. He wrote down things, words that only he himself knew the meaning of. Maybe it was a reflection on the day, or maybe a message to herself to stay strong. One of his colleagues who noticed it asked, "What did you write, Tae?" With a slight smile, Taehyung replied, "Just a reminder to myself. I want to remember every second I spent here. It's a different experience, and I want to make sure I don't forget it." The answer is simple, but it has a depth that reflects the introspective nature of Taehyung that his fans have come to know. That night, before the lights were completely turned off, one of the senior soldiers approached him. He was a sergeant who had been supervising the new recruits. In an attentive tone, the sergeant said, "Kim Taehyung, I admire your spirit. But remember, even the best soldier should know when to take a break. Don't let your passion make your body give up first." Those words hit Taehyung gently. As a person who is used to giving 110% in everything, he may often forget that his body has limits. However, he nodded and promised to listen more to his body from now on. That promise is not only for himself, but also for the fans who support him from afar, waiting hopefully for him to stay healthy and safe. The next morning, Taehyung returns to his military routine. But this time, he was more careful in his every move. The instructors have adjusted his physical training to ensure he does not overexert himself, although he still contributes to his team. Collaborative exercises, such as building a tent in record time or completing simulation missions, became moments where Taehyung really shone. His natural leadership and ability to build team spirit earned him the respect of his peers. One of the interesting stories that emerged from the following days was when a younger fellow soldier approached him for advice. The soldier felt overwhelmed by the pressure of the exercise and felt that he was not good enough compared to the others. Without hesitation, Taehyung grabbed her shoulder and said, "Nobody is perfect from the beginning. Everyone here is in the process, including me. We are here to support each other, not judge each other. So, do the best you can, and that's enough." The words not only encouraged the young soldier, but also spread like wildfire among his comrades. Taehyung, despite only being in camp for a few weeks, is becoming known as an inspiring and caring figure. His warm personality was a counterweight to the rigors of military life, and he carried a positive aura that helped not only himself but also those around him. However, the next challenge is already waiting. The training schedule became increasingly strenuous, and winter began to creep into the region. Cold weather is a natural enemy for all soldiers, especially during night duty or outdoor patrols. Taehyung, accustomed to a comfortable life as a celebrity, must adjust to this new reality. But once again, he showed incredible mental strength.